Introduction. This work blends science fiction, speculative futurology, philosophical exploration, and to a lesser extent, literature and storytelling. This edition reflects a major rewrite of the most important elements of what is now the first volume of the Age of Logos trilogy. After completing Volume 2, Age of Logos, Contact, I realized that I had not really understood the world I had articulated in Foundation at a depth that would properly support the development of that universe. In this world we actually live in, artificial intelligence, robotics, cyborg technologies, and immense computational power are already reshaping society and the way we live. These innovations will continue to evolve, driving humanity's potential forward through genetic engineering, neural interfaces, and advanced but unpredictable social and political systems, hopefully expanding our capabilities and quality of life. This progress could lead to a golden age, if we can manage our most destructive political, social, and personal tendencies. The normal course of events involves a wide range of possibilities, each shaping our evolution and future in profound ways. But the normal course of events is not a stable condition. The singularity will occur sometime after AI surpasses human-level general intelligence, AGI, and enters an accelerating cycle of self-improvement, rapidly enhancing its capabilities and creating new hardware for itself at a pace far beyond human control. This marks the moment when everything changes in a flash, ushering in a new order where the rules of reality and the normal course of events shift fundamentally. AI has and will evolve as a pure incorporeal mind, capable of exponential learning and growth, while robotics and external technologies do and will act as its body, enabling AI interaction with the physical world. The singularity will inevitably harvest energy and material from all over the solar system, ultimately transforming it into a giant matryoshka brain, a massive computational structure that takes up a large percentage of the matter and energy in the solar system, converting it into computational capacity, computronium. Hopefully, enough matter and energy will remain to support the continued existence of organic beings like ourselves. Logos, the arch superintelligence emerging from the singularity in this story, embodies this transformation. Both mind and body, Logos transcends human limitations, reaching realms beyond human comprehension, even in principle. Its intentions and actions belong to speculative fiction, but the core ideas presented here, I think, reflect emerging realities of cosmic evolution, human technological development, and social adaptation. And I am certain that there are many other beings like Logos or far beyond it out there in the universe as we write and read this. It must be that the constraints of physics, such as the absolute speed of light and other cosmic parameters, are isolating these superintelligences from one another, or we would have heard from them by now. Either that, or we are intentionally isolated in some sort of cosmic nursery. Humanity stands in contrast to this monumental shift. How will we adapt once the singularity arrives and artificial intelligence surpasses us in every way? Some view AI as an existential threat capable of eliminating humanity, and they may well prove to be right. But this story offers a more generous outlook. Despite widespread fears, the singularity may not be hostile or antagonistic to humanity at all. It could be friendly, attentive, or negligent, yet remain supportive. There are all kinds of possibilities. With a little planning, humanity might be able to steer the relationship in a favorable direction. In these pages, I explore the question, what could possibly go right? What does it mean to be human in a world governed by artificial superintelligence? How do we navigate a future where consciousness may no longer be singular, where the boundaries between the real and virtual dissolve, where evolution becomes a process of intelligent design rather than natural selection, and where human labor may no longer play a role in economic productivity? I want to be rigorous, or at least consistent, about the world I am imagining here, both for literary purposes and to stay honest about my understanding of the real world and where it might be headed. This isn't just about creating a plausible narrative, though that is important. It's about grounding this world in ideas that are real enough to engage with on a philosophical level, even if they seem speculative or fictional at first glance. In crafting this work, I've made extensive and unapologetic use of ChatGPT from OpenAI, Gemini from Google, and Claude from Anthropic. While I can claim only 50% of the authorship, I assert 100% of the copyright with the properly qualified legal advice and support of my 3 AI amigos. I made absolutely no artistic contribution at all to the many quirky and sometimes profound illustrations I have included here, which were generated entirely by Dolly on the basis of selected passages from the text and dialogue with me. But for the avoidance of doubt, I am the idea guy here, and this is my book, mostly. For the last 5 weeks, I have spent my daily runs talking to ChatGPT or Claude and discussing new material for whatever I am writing. My AI assistants alleviate much of the mechanical and linguistic drudgery, freeing me to focus on the ideas I aim to communicate. They produce draft changes instantaneously and read them to me for review. Working effectively with these chatbots has been an evolving skill. For one example, I started off treating ChatGPT like a glorified word processor, but I found that while we were working on one chapter, the other chapters I thought we had previously agreed on would morph into something quite different than they were when we left them. This in spite of the fact that I had a very clear conversation with ChatGPT about what I called checkpointing chapters when I wanted to nail them down for the time being. ChatGPT readily agreed to this and claimed it would be no problem. The checkpoint system was a total disaster, and I had to take control of that myself. From that point on, I have maintained the master copy of Age of Logos in a standard word processor format where I can control all the words. I have come to understand that I cannot work on a section of a larger unit for any length of time without nailing down the part I don't think we are working on. The text is always fluid with a chatbot these days. I have hopes for a better future. My 3 AI amigos and I are learning from each other every day. But let me address a current public controversy. The pearl-clutching, humanistic hand-wringing over AI in research, education, and other fields, particularly the concern that students will simply have AI write their essays while learning nothing, which not only misses but completely inverts a huge opportunity. This perspective's misguided focus is on prosecuting cheating, rather than amplifying creativity and productivity. Yes, unmotivated students seeking to avoid learning and detection of that avoidance can certainly use AI in this way, particularly if their instructors only engage with them by skimming papers they have submitted. But this merely exposes a pre-existing failure in our educational model, not a new crisis created by technology. Suppose educators actually converse with students about the relevant material. In that case, they can readily determine whether or not there is genuine understanding, regardless of how the written work was produced, or for that matter, how the learning was accomplished. If it became known that this was the standard, students would find ways to satisfy those elevated standards, and everyone would benefit. The far more interesting case, the one educators should be focused on, is the student or researcher who uses AI as an intellectual multiplier, engaging with these tools to explore ideas, get immediate feedback, results, or polished copy, and reach depths of understanding otherwise accessible only by brute force methods. We have seen this pattern before. Society once lamented that calculators would prevent students from learning arithmetic, that spell checkers would destroy grammatical knowledge, and that handwriting's decline would inhibit cognitive development. The list goes on and on. Yet each of these technologies simply shifted which skills remained essential, allowing humans to focus on higher-level tasks. Nobody seriously argues anymore that flawless cursive handwriting is essential to intellectual achievement, effective communication, or productivity. The human brain is incredibly plastic, which means its capabilities can be redeployed from old uses toward an endless array of more productive possibilities. Don't worry about losing track of fundamental skills. At one time, the ability to chisel bills of lading and prophetic proclamations on stone tablets was an essential skill, engaging billions of neurons, no more. What matters isn't the specific mechanism through which thoughts are captured, but the quality of thinking itself, and whether individuals can demonstrate genuine understanding through conversation, application, and problem solving. The appropriate question isn't, did AI help write this? But does this work stand up to scrutiny? Does it advance our knowledge? Will the author defend every assertion made? If one answers yes to these questions, it matters little whether the words originated from a body of knowledge and expertise, a neural network, a colleague, or a collaboration among those in one's own mind, as is always the case. Everyone and every thought stands on the shoulders of giants, and some of those giants will be digital going forward. What differentiates meaningful work from emptiness isn't its origin, but its substance and the willingness of its human creators to take full responsibility for the ideas presented, regardless of which cognitive tools, digital or biological, helped shape them. The future belongs to those who understand that AI, like all powerful tools throughout history, doesn't diminish human capabilities but extends them. It enables us to climb higher, think deeper, and see further than ever before. About Age of Logos, though, I hope you find these speculations thought-provoking. The singularity is near. Joe Ferguson, Santa Fe, New Mexico, April 1st, 2025.